Wendell.
Thank you. I always get shocked by this microphone. The only thing on our agenda this evening for you is our planning board report from the month of December. Our first meeting was on December 3rd, and there were 2 items on the agenda. The first item was a sketch plan for retina consultants. You've heard me talk about this before. We actually went through the process with them this past spring. They started the process and then disappeared, and now it's back with a new engineer and a new configuration, but it's the same company. This applicant, again, is proposing on the same site. It's just south of the main mall entrance off of Williams Road. I believe there's an old bank kiosk on it at this point. They propose to construct a 9,000 square foot, 1-story building with associated parking and green space at that location. Half the building would house the retina consultant's business, while the other half would be leased for professional offices. The applicant was advised of several items and issues to review before they come in with their formal site plan, especially including coordination with the DOT, because they propose a new access point off of Williams Road, as well as coordinating with our town utility department, Rich Don with water and sewer, as both of their water and sewer are on the far side of Williams Road, and they'll be required to bore across the road to get those to the site. No action was required or taken on that. The next item was another sketch plan, which was for Colton RV service and parking. The applicant proposes to remodel parts of their service area, expand and enclose the existing overhang area, and expand parking onto the recently purchased property to the west, really northwest. It's 3114 Niagara Falls Boulevard. They were advised of several items to look at and study hard before they come in with their formal site plan approval, and those items included buffers and screening from those adjacent residences, wrought iron fencing, and site lighting issues. The planning board discussed the likelihood that they would schedule a public information for this project during their formal site plan approval process. No action was required or taken. The second meeting was on December 17th, and there was one item on that agenda, and it was yet another sketch plan. This is for DePaul Wheatfield. The applicant proposes to construct a 60-unit, 3-story apartment building on Williams Road, adjacent to the LaSalle Expressway on-ramp. This is basically between the on-ramp and the existing senior housing developments that are right there. The building is to contain 56 one-room apartments and 4 two-bedroom apartments, with associated parking, landscaping, and other site amenities. The applicant was advised of, again, many items to include in their formal site plan, including the coordination, again, of access with the DOT, as its proximity to the LaSalle Expressway could be a limiting factor, potential wetlands on the site, and fire access. No other action was required or taken. And that's our planning board summary for the month of December.
Thank you. Speaking of that business, I don't know if it can be done. Richard's here, Don's here. When we have a building like that, can we require them to put up a bus stop outside, a covered bus stop that would be protected from the wind and the rain? One of the problems at Summit View and at St. Isaac Jogue, they go out to the bus stop and there's nothing to protect them while they're standing out there waiting for a bus that can be 10 or 15 minutes late. Can we require the developer to do that? Yeah, I've asked Kim if they would be willing to put one in there and a couple of other places in town, and they're basically saying they have no money. So, surprise, surprise. It's about somewhere around $8,000 to build it according to their specs.
We'll have to check into that. Because we had concern about the school bus, although there's not going to be a lot.
Yeah, no.
Still, 1 or 2 buses would be quite a walkway for just to walk. Planning board can certainly strongly suggest it. Sometimes we strongly suggest that the applicant do it.
Yeah, but if we don't do it now, early in the ball game, it's not going to happen. So. That's the first appearance of this group, right? That's the first time they've appeared?
Yes, it's their first sketch plan. It's the first thing we've even seen for that site since I've been on the planning board.
There is a sidewalk on the other side of the street, but there's no sidewalk on that particular side of the street.
Right.
Correct.
Maybe it's too early for me to ask this question, but is that gonna be a tax exempt, facility? I see they're gonna target lower income people.
I did not hear them say that it was gonna be a tax exempt facility. Do you recall, Richard? It's
No.
not going to be, right?
Okay, any further questions for Tim? Thank you, Tim. And we'll move on to regular motions.
All right, before I do motions, I actually have something positive to say, sort of in the, hard to believe, but in the spirit of the holidays, our town hall employees actually collected and contributed a bunch of food to the Heart, Love, and Soul food pantry and soup kitchen. So the employees who work in town hall brought in a number of food items, number of boxes, and they were all delivered down to the needy area. And I think that's really a very positive gesture from your town employees, and we should thank them for doing that. First motion is to approve some budget transfers for the general fund, highway fund, and garbage district, and I'm not going to read them.
It's a long-winded list. I'll go ahead and make the motion.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion, and I'm going to change it a little bit, is to approve the contracts with Springbrook for billing and payment programs with the changes as outlined in Councilman Helwig's email.
There was a few questions. I called Rich Donner today to ask him on the conversion. They said they were going to initially do 3 to 5 years of history, but if you require more, they'll do more. But they also told me in the email that that old history would still be in the old system. But you know, I know it's be a nuisance when you get somebody on the phone and you got to pull up one computer program. And oh, you're going back 6 years, and I got to call up the other program and pull up the detail for it. So I guess they said that they would convert it. There would be no additional cost. It's however much you want to pull into the new system. And then the last email she sent us, Bob, when I had her on the phone, they wanted a 5% increase every year for annual maintenance. She said they could only go down to 4%. But in the email I sent her, I said we would like to pay maintenance based on the lesser of the CPI index or a 5% increase. And she says, yes, we can do that. But when I talked to her, she didn't say that.
Well, you've
So if you're
confirmed
going by
it.
the email, that's good.
Well, the writing controls.
And then there was some reference here to Oracle licenses, because we have both KVS Enterprise and we're going to have the KVS Springbrook, whether we have to buy more third-party software licenses. And she told me no. So, and I guess that was pretty much her answer in the email too.
Was that your motion?
Bob made the motion. I'll make the motion.
I can't make a motion.
Well, you read the motion.
Yeah, I read the motion.
I'll do the first of the motion that Bob read.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second what he said.
What Bob read.
Kathy, here's a copy of the email.
Anything on the question?
Does that answer all your questions, Rich? There's nothing, I think, add to? Is that everything good on that?
Okay, if nothing further, then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion is to move Greg Martin's title as truck driver, step 5, effective January 1st.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Gil, second by Randy. He is moving from laborer to truck driver?
Correct.
So it's actually to move Greg to a truck driver, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, anything further on the question? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion to increase water rates by 10 cents per 1,000 gallons effective January 1st and to establish a minimum rate of $19.25 per month. No, but that's per quarter.
Per quarter.
I'm sorry, per quarter. Specify that.
Does anybody wish to make this motion?
So move, and I got a question.
Moved by Art, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Randy. Go ahead, Art.
Question, Richie, and maybe you can help me with this. Do we ever get payment from those towns that were in arrears, and will this increase also affect them?
It will also affect them. Well, they have a contract and Bob was working on those, so.
We're not going to
we
get
did.
what we want, that's pretty clear. Whether we have an agreement in place, we're asking them to modify the agreements, because they don't make any sense. They're not willing to go as far as we asked, and that's been sort of sitting there for
A year?
a while. Yeah, a while.
And now we have an increase, and they're gonna say, no, we're not doing that either.
Well, the increase is to the individual meters. If it's non-metered, then it wouldn't be increased. Right?
We're billing them for water on a bulk rate. They're just giving the amounts that they use off of their meters to us, so.
I mean, we don't send their people bills,
We do not send their people.
so they send the bills to their people, we give them a certain amount of metered water out.
At a rate that was based 20 years ago.
This is just Cambria we're talking about, though. We haven't mentioned the town, but is it just an issue with Cambria so far, or is it your Pendleton?
I think there's two, I think it's Cambria and Pendleton, as I recall.
I mean, water's the cheapest commodity we have to offer anybody.
Yep.
I don't know, I mean, I'll leave it with you guys if you're working on it.
Been working on it for a lot of years.
Yeah, it has not come up in a long time. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Anything further on the question? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion is to schedule a public information meeting. Actually, this is sort of a preliminary seeker meeting on the Shawnee Clemmer subdivision, and I think we want to do it on January 26th. And I had set 7:15. I don't think there'll be a lot of input, but I guess you never know. I don't think there will be.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Gil. 7:15's probably good, because just like tonight, if it runs over, it runs over. We're bound to have something else that evening anyway, probably. Anything further on the question? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
Next motion's to ratify the appointment of Jamie Irving as Deputy Highway Superintendent effective January 1st.
So move.
Moved by Art. Second. Second, I guess, by Randy first. Anything on the question?
Don't we usually do this at reorg?
Well, this is a new position. We really need to, well, it's a new individual.
And isn't he already deputy? Or
No, he is,
We didn't do it.
So this won't give it to him until January. Don't we want to make it effective now?
no, we want to make
The
it.
object is for insurance purposes to have it on January 1st.
Okay.
He will be switching insurance companies. He's coming out of the union.
Oh, understand. Okay.
Okay, anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
Next is to ratify the promotions of Paul Eustace, Bruce Mack, and Ron Wolf Jr. to MEOs in the Highway Department effective January 1st.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Moved by Larry, second by Gil. These are all moving from driver to MEO?
Yes,
And these are all qualified?
yes.
Okay, then, anything else on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
All right, next motion is that the minimum wage is increasing by 75 cents an hour. So this is a motion to keep the town's summer seasonal part-time wage scale, in compliance with the law, and that would be to increase the summer seasonal part-time wage scale and the wages of all employees in that wage scale by 75 cents per hour effective January 1st.
I take it, Bob, that the minimum wage goes up on January 1, too?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make the motion.
Okay, moved by Larry, second by Art. Is this the best way to name it, or should we simply state what the minimum wage is and that will be the minimum wage of the town?
No, because I think to maintain parity, we need to slide all people on that wage scale up. Otherwise,
So the ones that are already above are gonna get a 75-cent raise.
I think that's only fair.
Okay.
There's a table of about 4 or 5 different categories of, summer seasonals, everything from park guards to groundskeepers to lifeguards, and, I guess they're all gonna be the benefactors of getting 75 cents to keep us above that $8.75. What is it, $8.75 now?
No, it's eight and a quarter now, and it goes to 9.
Okay.
Anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
All right, next one, I actually had a bit of an error, so I'm going to change it to approve the contract with Civic Plus for website design and hosting for a 3-year period at a cost of $11,000 payable over a 3-year period. And I think that does it. And
You're getting rid of thereafter
yes,
per year for a 3-year period.
correct.
Make the motion.
I'll go ahead and second.
Essentially, what the town's doing is we're gonna be updating our website for the town. It needs updating. Departments with the new website will be trained. Kathy Carrington has fully accepted being the project lead on this project.
Thanks for
All
volunteering.
departments will be able to update your own content. This company is pretty good. I mean, all of the websites in New York State for every town, every city, every village, every website in all of New York State were evaluated, and this company rated pretty high. In Western New York, for instance, where Niagara County is, the only county in Western New York that had a passing grade was Chautauqua County, and this company did Chautauqua County. Every other, from Erie County to Niagara, Orleans, every county had an F, basically said we failed. A lot of it's on content. There's some things on there that, they wanted pictures of every elected official. They wanted, all your budgets and contracts, and they wanted a real easy way to do freedom of information. So this website will give you all that. It's just, whether or not, the town board wants to put every contract on the site. And so it's going to be a real good site. It basically is costing us $11,500. There's an annual, that wasn't in the motion, but we're going to have a $900 per year maintenance and hosting fee with that. And it's going to be only increasing at 2% per year. They wanted 5. And the $11,000 plus the $900 for the 2 years for maintenance, when you divide that out, it's $4,283 a year for 3 years. After our 3 years of paying that amount, we're on the $900 cycle every year. Now, our current website, we paid about $8,000 for maybe 10 years ago, and it's not serving us very well. So this will be a great. They're going to start this early in January. They're going to be here for just 4 days. So they may, spend a half a day with water, half a day with recreation, but they're going to be going over each department. We're not going to do what we've been doing for 30 years. This is our opportunity to do it right, so.
Anything else on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That's approved.
Final motions to award a contract to install a pavilion at Town Hall Complex to TNT Builders at a cost of $22,540.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Gil.
Second.
Second by Art. Anything on the question? Where's Mike? Mike, this is less the, this is less the concrete at this point? So this does not include the concrete, you pulled that out of the contract. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's approved.
That's it.
That's it, that's all the motions. Okay, board member items, Councilman Helwig. Larry, anything?
All my items were covered through agenda and motion, so I'm all set.
Anything, Art?
Just a couple of quick points. The comprehensive planning had no activity. We have an upcoming meeting in January. It's the third Thursday of the month that we're available. If you, for public viewing, you want to come on and sit in one of our meetings, you're welcome, over at the town center, the senior center. No activity for the veterans group. We're going to reconvene in January. The fire advisory board, the five fire companies have gotten together for their meetings and are still reviewing the plans and still talking, and did present a letter on the new developments, looking for the two accesses, two ways of egress in and out of new complexes. And I think they are worthy certainly of consideration and listening to. And they are also, as a secondary, they're working diligently on looking at the material safety data sheets for the Quasar folks, which, thank you for your list of chemicals. And now those were potential chemicals, is what I was told. Yes, on those sheets that you gave us. Okay, those weren't actually material safety data sheets. They were potential materials that may be brought into Quasar. So the group has dug into it a little bit more for the actual material safety data sheets, which they have to, by law, present to the local fire company. So they are digging those out. So thank you for that list. The last thing I have, and I don't know, I mean, something coming towards the end of the year, maybe one of you guys could shed some light on this. Turner Broadcasting negotiation. When's the last time we talked to the guys that do the cable here in town?
A long time. Maybe a couple of years. I have...
Time Warner, excuse me.
Time Warner. I attempted a couple of times to reach the government affairs representative. Sharon Hansen, I think, is her name, but I've not had much success. In view of the proposed sale to Comcast, I'm not sure that they'll even be willing to have any further discussions. But I will follow up with them again. It's way overdue. We've had difficulty in getting them to even return our calls.
Yeah, it wasn't to put you on the spot, just that I know it's towards the end of the year. Now would be the time to make some sort of arrangements. That's all I have, Bob.
Thank you, Art. Gil?
Nothing.
Randy?
Nothing.
I did get one letter. It's a letter from the Niagara County Department of Health. You folks may remember a few months ago that Mr. Wozniak asked me to send a letter to the county asking for an epidemiological study. I got a better part of a 2-page letter back stating the reasons why they don't think it is necessary and they're not going to be doing it at this point. If you want a copy of the letter, Kathy will have that and she can get that for you. For a small fee? Very, very small fee. And that's basically all I have. Our next meeting is January 5th. We'll start with our reorganizational meeting. What time do we want to start that, folks? Do we want to start that at 7 to get reorg done first?
7 enough time?
Well, again, the regular meeting might start a couple of minutes late. 7 o'clock then? Okay, so it'll be 7 o'clock for reorg and 7:30 for regular town board meeting on January 5th here. If anybody doesn't have the schedule of meetings, you can talk to my secretary and get it. I think Kathy has it posted as well in the town clerk's office. I'm not sure if it's up on the website. We'll go back to public input.